Hey guys, so World of Warcraft stuff for once. I don't really do much World of Warcraft stuff since I don't play it really anymore. I'll play on the private servers, but as for you know, Shadowlands, I've lost all interest. I find it incredibly boring. Um, I leveled up max level one character and that was it. I was like, okay, I'm done. Um, but it's still I like to speculate things and at least I mean not on camera, but I do watch like Akalon and Bellular and other kind of Warcraft theorists. So I'm still involved, just I'm not playing the game. But so this is apparently a leak. World of Warcraft, what's next? Presentation announcement and recap. So we have Shadowlands patch 9.2. Shadowlands Fate of Eternity, which, I mean, it sounds like it could be a good title. Launching spring 2022, which seems at least somewhat reasonable since we usually have each patch for several months. 9.1 and everything just came out not too long ago. So, but New Realms, Zereth Mortis, new PvE content, trials of the first ones. So it would sound like it's almost like a Trial of the Crusader kind of thing. New dungeon and raid, unified factions. No, not going to happen. This is what I believe makes it fake. People have been saying unified factions for ages, just like Tinker and Necromancer, and they think that if they keep saying it, it'll eventually happen, which true. I mean, for the longest time, people said we were going to have Pandaren and Demon Hunters in the game, and eventually it happened. So they think that if they keep pushing it, it's like, see, we told you. Yeah, but you told us like 14 fucking years ago, and it just now happened. So how were you right? Of course it was going to eventually happen, but for this to be in a patch, I don't think we're going to have unified factions in a patch. So this is the big red flag right there. And much more. Launching spring 2022. This is what I would be looking forward to. Wrath of the Lich King Classic. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Launching fall 2022. Maybe? I mean, I can... Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening. I mean, to figure out when it's going to release, all you have to really do is look at the release of WoW Classic and WoW Burning Crusade Classic, and then you can kind of make an educated guess from that. But fall is a pretty wide range since fall is several months. So yeah, I can see it launching then. Bellular does the same kind of thing where he projects like, oh yeah, if in the past these patches have come out at this point, so that means this patch will be coming out around this time, or this expansion came out this time, and so go buy that. So this is nothing crazy. Anyone could have done this. So again, doesn't really show anything. And then here we have new World of Warcraft expansion. World of Warcraft Awakenings. Now, return to a different Azeroth. Well, we've been stuck in the Shadowlands for a while. So, naturally, anyone with common sense is going to say that in our absence, Azeroth's going to look a little different, possibly. We're not there to protect it. Something's going to happen. New class mechanic, or Tinker, which people have been saying forever. Like I said, they just keep saying it, and then like, oh yeah, finally we got, we were right. See, I told you. It's like, yeah, but it was like 5 expansions after you said it, so not exactly right, because you were talking about the next expansion, not the 5th expansion after. New systems, hero stance. whatever the fuck that would be. And here's where I think this is complete bullshit. Bold, and customize your airship. So bold, obviously not a fucking word, like build, and customize. This is the British way to spell customize. If this was done by Blizzard, it would be done in California, and it would be customize with a Z. So this right here tells me that's complete fucking bullshit. Reforged profession systems, people have been wanting that forever. So again, they're going to put something like that. And it says build and customize your airship. Well, why would that be there when we didn't even know we could build airships in the first place? We would have to have seen something about airships in the first place to let us know that we can build and customize our airship. And why would airship be capitalized? Hang on, you can't see it, but yeah, why would airship be capitalized? It's not a proper, pronoun here. It's not a person, place, or, it's a thing, but it's not an important thing. So there'd be no reason for airship to be. Well, then again, they do. Looks like they've been doing that. But then wait. So the way everything looks spelt out looks kind of weird. And much more. But anyways, yeah, bold and customize your airship. What? So awakenings. But so awakenings. So I don't know what awakenings would be referring to. I mean, the only thing that we know that could wake up is Azeroth, which I seriously doubt, because if Azeroth wakes up, we're all dead, because comes out of the planet. So I don't know what awakenings would be. I mean, it could be a metaphorical thing, like we're awakened, or certain characters are awakened. But I don't know what airships would have to do with it, or mechanics. If I really want to see a Dragon Isle expansion. Dragon Isles, considering they're called Dragon Isles. We had the Broken Isles, which they really weren't that big to begin with, which means the Dragon Isles would be a perfect place to have an expansion. We know Wrathion went there, or was at least looking for them in Battle for Azeroth. If you did the island expeditions and all that, you could get a black scale, and you go to one of his people, and they're like, yeah, Wrathion told me to tell you this, and blah blah blah. He's out looking for the Dragon Isles and this and that. So the Dragon Isles have been extremely important since the beginning. They were going to be in like vanilla. There's concept art of what it looked like. In fact, if you go and play the alpha build, it's still in the game. It's not finished or anything. It's not textured, but it's like if you think of like Stormsong Valley, like that giant squid-looking thing that's built into the stone, out of the mountain. It kind of looked like that, except it was a real, apparently a living creature, and it was hosted this whole temple complex on it. It was supposed to be old god related, but yeah. So, but the Dragon Isles would be extremely cool, since we know Wrathion was looking for it. We've seen black dragons popping back up. We've seen chromatic dragons popping up. We've seen the infinite dragonflight popping back up. So all these dragonflights are popping back up for no reason. and we still have Murozond that we possibly have to deal with at some point. Also, while we're gone, I mean, we defeated N'Zoth. But if you think about the title of the patch, the Visions of N'Zoth, that implies that we were seeing what he wanted us to see. And people have said this repeatedly, you know, old gods, the void, they can see everything, past, present, future, all possible outcomes. So, you know, they're like fucking Doctor Strange in this moment, where they can see every possible outcome. And they can see, even if it's just one, they can see that one outcome, you know, if they fail. You know, N'Zoth probably saw that he was going to be defeated and probably planned on it. He is the most cunning of them. This guy's been around for a while. He was the one who corrupted Deathwing. So I don't think that after 10, he was first talked about in Cataclysm, which was 2010. So I don't think they would talk about an old god this strong and this influential for 10 years just to get rid of him in one patch. That'd be so fucking stupid. I think they called it Visions of N'Zoth for a reason, because we were seeing what he wanted us to see. Remember, they can fuck with your mind. Remember when we were with Yogg-Saron, showed us visions. They can show us things. They can show us what they want to show us. So having the patch called Visions of N'Zoth, I think we were seeing what he wanted us to see. I think he wanted us to believe he had been defeated. And even if he had been defeated, he had a plan already in store, because that's what he did. So that could possibly be a change that, because people have wanted to see that too. We didn't get to see really any of the Black Empire, this infamous Black Empire that had been around eons ago, when the Titans were going around ordering things. This place that was so bad that we had the freaking Titan Keepers trying to contain these monsters, and something that was just so horrific, like an H.P. Lovecraft kind of thing. We hear all this talk about it, and then when we finally get to see it, it's only in a raid, and then poof, it's destroyed. Come on. So people were hoping that we go back and there's like the Black Empire starting to emerge again. We go back to Kalimdor. You go to the Barrens and there's like these giant spires, sacrificial altars and stuff like that, kind of like we saw in Pandaria and Uldum, except more Black Empire-ish, not just like this weird vision of it. So there's a lot that could happen in our absence, since we've been stuck. Lore-wise, we've been stuck in the Shadowlands. Gameplay-wise, obviously, they can't keep you stuck in the Shadowlands. You can't do your farming, your legacy transmog farming if you're literally stuck in the Shadowlands. So gameplay-wise, you can Hearth and you can Portal and all that great stuff. But lore-wise, we have been stuck in the Shadowlands, and we all know that time runs different in the Shadowlands as opposed to the land of the living. So we don't know how much time we've been gone for. So it is very possible that, N'Zoth could have struck, his plan into motion, and we go back to a Black Empire. And then somehow maybe the way to defeating it would be the Dragon Isles, since it was old god related and stuff like that. But mechanic, we are bound for a new class. We do need a new class. So let's see, what are we at? Although Shadowlands really didn't have it, did he? Did it? Battle for Azeroth had new races, but allied races. Legion had the class, Demon Hunter, but we haven't really had anything since then. So we're due for a new actual race. Not it's not a sub race, not a allied race, an actual race, and we're also due for a new class. So, like I said, people have been saying Tinker and Necromancer and Bard for the longest fucking time. Like, since fucking vanilla, they wanted this shit. So, what kind of class? Oh, Dragon Tamer was another one, or the Dragon Warrior. No, I think it was like Dragon Tamer or something. Well, if we're going to the Dragon Isles, that'd be a great thing to have, wouldn't it? Dragon Tamer. I think it was called Dragon Tamer. It had something to do with dragons. But I mean, if we're going to the Dragon Isles, I don't really see a need for airships because they're isles. It's not like we're going far, into the ocean and everything's spread apart. The Dragon Isles is going to be more like the Broken Isles, where they're broken a little bit, or like separated, but not where you need a fucking airship. We know that Dragon Isles is right in between, or as far as we know, Northrend and Eastern Kingdoms. So, I mean, you've got two continents right there. So, really no need for an airship. We take a boat there, and then once we're there, we can use Wyverns and Griffins to fly around. There's also the other side of Azeroth that people have been wanting to see for the longest time. Chris Metzen kind of did confirm that what we see is just one side of the planet, that there is another side that we haven't seen yet, with the introduction of that new Stormount. Like the Volpine Familiar and that the dragon one that came out, very Shadowlands-esque inspired. You go there, there's you can find them in the Shadowlands. So this newer mount, very different. They said it's newly discovered or some shit like that, or they just recently popped up. So they could very much be possibly from the other side of the planet. People said they're very Blood Elf look inspired. They've got the emerald eyes. They basically look like the Sunwell, like they were sun infused. So it's very possible that they come from the other side of the planet, but the Sindori brought them over to the other side, where they are now, to Eastern Kingdom and stuff like that. So I don't know. It'd be cool to see that new Stormount because the design is for a reason, I think. Like I said, the Volpine Familiar and the other one are creatures we can find in Shadowlands. So it's not too much of a stretch to say that this new mount has something to do with possibly the next expansion. It's not like it's involved directly, but it's going to be a creature that we can find possibly in the new expansion. So, like I said, maybe it was on the other side of the planet, and the Sindori brought them over to our side, or the side that we're familiar with. But yeah. But other than that, I think obviously it's complete bullshit with the title. I mean, the fact that they spelled build wrong. I don't think Blizzard would be this sloppy. I mean, who knows with all the bullshit going on with them right now. So, bold and customized, like I said, British version of customize. they're in Irving, California. I don't think they'd be using the British form of customize to. Now I know they have things in like Germany that they'll show off, but Blizzard headquarters is in California. So even if they're showing off in other countries, they're going to use the same spelling and everything for everything. You know, if they speak English, it's going to be the same versions. But yeah, these two seem possible, but anyone could be predicting this. Fate of Eternity. I mean, we've got the, you know, everything is at stake right now. We've got Zoval trying to unmake everything. So Fate of Eternity, very generic name. Wrath of the Lich King. We know what's going to happen, and like I said, all you got to do is look at previous launches and say, okay, well, Burning Crusade Classic launched this far after Classic was released, so you know that. So Wrath of the Lich King Classic should be released around here. It's not that hard. Like I said, Bellular and all those other World of Warcraft YouTubers, they do it all the fucking time. It's not that hard to do. All you gotta do is look at fucking release dates and see trends. Like with patches, like for Legion, it was like, was it like 77 days in between each patch? So they were able to say, well, if they keep with the 77 days, the next patch will be around this time. And then what do you know? It came to around that time, and we got a new patch. It's not that fucking hard. So anyone can do this. And as for this, obviously, it's just Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary. Same thing with this. You know, we just had 9.1 come out, so they can say, okay, well, so far we got 9.0, and then this long before 9.1, so 9.2 should be coming around this time. I mean, like I said, channels do it all the time. And then this is where it really falls apart. But whatever. I mean, it's fake, but it's always still fun to theory craft and think about what would be involved and stuff like that. So, World of Warcraft Awakenings. I don't like that name at all. I mean, every title has kind of, you know what it's about. Like, think World of Warcraft, The Burning Crusade. World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. We already knew who the Lich King was because we had been introduced to him before. World of Warcraft, Cataclysm. When we hear Cataclysm, we think of something, you know, catastrophic, something world-breaking. World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria. I mean, Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, like pretty self-explanatory right there. Legion, self-explanatory. You see where I'm going with this? And then you have World of Warcraft Awakenings. Okay, what? So, I would just say this is a progress type thing, that this is just a work in progress, and that the person who made this will probably redo it at some point. Probably once we get closer to finding out what that next expansion will be. Because we've had Shadowlands for a while now, so it's probably going to be around pretty soon that we're going to get some kind of hint at the next expansion at 10.0. So I'm just going to say this is a work in progress until they can think of something better. But yeah, what do you guys think? What would you name the next expansion? So if we are indeed, say, going to the Dragon Isles, what would you call the expansion? What class do you hope? Like I said, we're bound for a new class. We need to get a new class soon. So what would you want the new class to be? An original class, not this fucking Tinker and all that other bullshit that's been talked about for ages. If you could have a class that you know exists in the game that we just haven't been able to play. Because there's plenty of classes in the game, but we only have access to play as only a few of them. So what class would you want to play as? If you could get a new race, which race? And of course, you have to keep in mind it has to be somewhat relevant to the expansion. So if it's a Dragon Isles expansion, it has to be somewhat relevant. If we were getting a I don't know, Black Empire expansion, like I said, maybe N'Zoth has reemerged because he really did fake his death, and now Azeroth looks like the Black Empire again. What kind of class and race and all that? Reforged profession system. I mean, like I said, it does need a revamp badly. I think they tried to do it in Legion, it just didn't work out very well. So if a new profession, what kind of profession would you add? I mean, in WoW, the Revelations, the one that I was playing, they have wood cutting, so you can actually go around, cut down trees and stuff like that. So they made their own professions. What kind of profession would you like to see? It could, I mean, as long as it's a profession, you know, gathering or something like that, what would you like to see? You know, there's, you know, you have your gathering professions, and then you have your building professions. You know, your leather makers and your cloth makers and your, you know, blacksmiths. You know, if you could gather or build, go one of each. You know, what would you want to gather and what would you want to build? I like to build airships. And much more. And tell me what much more would be. Anyways, yeah, so whatever you guys think of. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.